In our last video, we looked at two types of for-profit social enterprises. We looked at microfinances and we looked at the many different types of cooperatives. In this video, we're going to take a deeper dive into a very interesting type of for-profit social enterprise that combines resources from the public sector and mixes it with the expertise from the private sector. We call it public-private partnerships. So, the third type of for-profit social enterprise is public-private partnerships, or what we call PPPs. These are businesses that are created between a private sector business and a public sector business. For example, if we look at the building of roads in a country, a government might not have all the resources it needs to build that road. In this case, the transport department of the government might work with a private business that specializes in construction to complete this project or build this road. And they do so through forming a new combined business just for the project. Typically, a PPP involves the construction of a facility with a social aim, for example, in healthcare or education. It could also be for a specific project, such as developing a site or a nature reserve. The business that is formed between the private and public sectors expects to make a profit on their money invested, but that's not generally the goal. This is because the public sector usually provides the finance and the private business provides the expertise. Now, often we will see governments offer tax incentives to the private business that is providing the expertise, such as tax exemptions for money made on this particular project. And this is done to incentivize the private sector to take part in the partnership. A PPP may not be limited to just small partnerships, but can also involve some large businesses doing some big projects. For example, we have multinational companies working with individual governments to create tunnels and roads that connect major countries or cities. Okay, the main features of a PPP, which also extends to the other types of for-profit social enterprises, include the following. Firstly, that profit is important, but not the priority, because achieving certain social aims are the key goals. These aims can be varied, ranging from education to hospitals, but regardless of this, profit is still important. And that's because for-profit social enterprises still need to generate profits to ensure the survival and growth of the business. And this includes things such as collecting tolls on government roads to pay for maintenance, things along those lines. The aim is not to maximize profits, but to earn just enough profits to sustain the operations or activities of the business in case something goes wrong. Secondly, there is usually collaboration between the business and local communities. Because for-profit social enterprises usually signify a desire for cooperation between businesses and governments, the activities of for-profit social enterprises tend to recognize a need that is not being met by ordinary business activity or governments and aims to address it. Thirdly, there is more democracy in PPPs than other businesses. In for-profit social enterprises, decision-making tends to be more consultative and transparent. The reason for this is because PPPs are really trying to emphasize that spirit of social enterprise, to be doing a social good and not use the typical aggressive business strategies to succeed. It also relies on support or aid from others, from both the private and public sectors, and so by conveying social spirit and a willingness to be supportive, it supports the purpose of the public-private partnership. Finally, public-private partnerships operate with all the same business functions as any other business. For-profit social enterprises need to engage in all the usual operations or productions, marketing, human resources, and financial decisions, just like any other business. The advantages of for-profit social enterprises compared to traditional sole traders, partnerships, and companies include a favorable legal status. The legal structure of a for-profit social enterprise allows people to engage in these activities without being personally liable or accountable to shareholders with traditional business interests. In other words, the focus is on providing good for humans, society, or the environment, and so the business activity is less likely to be scrutinized or criticized. There's a strong sense of communal identity. For-profit social enterprises are usually formed with a very clear purpose, with highly motivated employees and stakeholders working together with a common sense of purpose. As a result, employees also report a higher degree of satisfaction, knowing that they are making a positive impact, and this in turn can positively impact business performance. There are benefits to the stakeholder community. For example, for-profit social enterprises may help many stakeholders like the beneficiaries, the people who are going to benefit the most from the project, such as commuters for a road that is being built under a PPP. It could also help the government more because for-profit social enterprises, as we mentioned before, focus on human, social, or environmental problems that a government is not addressing. And so by doing this, it helps reduce problems in the community and alleviates the burdens from some government functions. But there are also disadvantages, and these include the fact that PPPs and cooperatives are democracies that involve a lot of stakeholders. And so decision-making is complex and time-consuming. If too many people are involved with the decision, which is often the case, then this extended decision-making time can limit how effectively the business is being run or slow down the progress of the business altogether. There might be insufficient capital for growth. Capital is referring to money. The business model of a for-profit social enterprise may not focus on gaining a substantial profit. And because most businesses rely on healthy profit margins and profits which are retained for investment in properties, plans, equipment, and working capital, money that is being used for daily operations, especially as the business grows. Without large profits, this might become an issue for-profit social enterprises as they struggle to expand or even survive in some cases. There might even be insufficient capital for financial strength. What that means is that for-profit social enterprises tend to have lower profit margins than traditional businesses because they want to make their product or service as accessible and inexpensive as possible. As a result, for-profit social enterprises tend not to have deep financial strength that can permit them to survive an economic recession when finance is less available. So that concludes this video on for-profit social enterprises. I'll see you in the next module on non-profit social enterprises, which include charities and non-government organizations. Take care.